I got written up on an orientation day. I started a new job Saturday and ended it the same day. I was told I was not in a uniform. That was never explained to me, and that I was late. I was told to show up at 10:30, and when I showed up at 10:26, I get asked why I'm late. I showed them the text that showed they said 10:30, and they said, I meant 10 inches, as if I was supposed to know that. I apologized for not being able to read minds and didn't know that was a prerequisite. I was then told I should have been in uniform. Their uniforms are provided at the job site. After this longest 2 hours of orientation I've ever had, I proceeded to tell them this wasn't going to work and blocked their number. Moral of this story is that if you have expectations, please express them clearly. No pay rate is worth a day one write-up. Years of being underpaid and overworked taught me that, and you'd think management would know just as well. I worked as a bank teller for 1 week and quit. First, they told me that I was late every day that week, when I was not. They told me that the start time of my shift was the time you were expected to have all your drawer fully open and ready to take customers, not the time you're supposed to clock in. It takes 10 to 15 minutes to open your drawer. I told them they should have made that clear before my first day. They stated that it's obvious what they meant. Second, there was 75 cents missing from my drawer and then found the next morning. This simply means the drawer was miscounted. But they accused me of stealing the money and returning it once I got caught. I told them that if I were to steal, I would steal more than 75 cents. And that they, supposedly, had cameras on me the whole day, so they would know if the money was stolen. So then they said they'd make an exception and not write me up since it was my first week. I stood up, quit, and walked out. They then begged me to stay, saying that they didn't mean to upset me. I told them I won't work for someone who would accuse me of stealing 75 cents and walked out. Sounds to me like they really wanted to get you feeling defensive from day one, so you'd work extra hard not to get fired. I'm glad it didn't work out for them. I got hired by a company and my immediate boss told me, you can wear jeans and a polo to work. Since 95% of the staff is remote, no one is really in the office but us. Day 2 of wearing jeans. He pulls me aside and tells me to please wear dress pants to work. WTF, dude. 11 weeks later, the entire company of 160 plus employees were laid off with no warning. I literally just had a similar experience. Got written up for hand tattoos. I had the tattoos when you interviewed and hired me. I would leave immediately and say, I think you guys are insane. Insane people will always try to act like jackasses to see if you'll put up with it. When you do, they've got you. Your job, however, is to never emotionally engage with these people. You did the right thing. I got laid off at the beginning of COVID and got hired at a grocery store nearby. Specifically as a cashier. I show up to orientation to find out I'm not going to be a cashier. I'm going to move pallets in the back room and stock shelves. Stocking shelves I would have been okay with. But the moving pallets thing seemed to be the bigger part of the job, and I just wasn't comfortable with operating the machine that moved them. I asked my trainer about the cashier position I was hired for. They said it turned out they needed people for this more and they could maybe move me to being a cashier in a few months. I told my trainer at the end of orientation this position wasn't for me, and she was so shocked. Like, duh, maybe some people don't want the position they didn't apply for. I got written up today at my job for taking a 38-minute lunch instead of a 30-minute last week. There's a 5-minute grace period to clock back in, but I missed it out of exhaustion. I work 12-hour shifts in a Florida warehouse without AC and half the team called out that day. I feel terrible, but I can't do anything since they pay $23 an hour and every job around town has lower wages. I almost feel like I'm working on a plantation from the 1800s. I very briefly worked at a Goodwill after I got out of the military while I waited for the next semester to start. I interviewed on a Thursday morning, and once hired they told me to be in on Monday at 8. I show up on Monday, and everyone was like, "Oh, so you are the new guy that no-showed this weekend." Apparently they put up schedules Thursday afternoon, and the manager thought my very first shift should be on a weekend when they only schedule one person for that role on the weekends. So had no one available to train me. I didn't stay there long. Reminds me of when I got a call asking why I hadn't shown up for work. This was from a company that I had interviewed with weeks prior, but wasn't hired for and never got to any onboarding process. So no idea how they put me on a schedule. But I got a call anyway in regard to why I wasn't at training. I told them I was flattered and there must be a mix-up, but do let me know if they wanted me to come in anyway. Said they'd speak to management and get back to me. Never did. Meh. Yup. You did the right thing. If they treat you like that on day one, it's only going to get worse from there. You dodge a bullet. Look at this as a good thing. I had a dishwashing job once. Had 3 days off in a row, Monday through Wednesday. On Tuesday they changed the schedule and put me on for Wednesday without calling me to inform me of the change. When I showed up Thursday, I was pulled in the office and fired on the spot for a no-call, no-show. That restaurant is out of business now. You lasted longer than I would have. On the first day, they don't get strike two. I've had a couple similar inexplicable experiences. Usually it means they've no intention of actually hiring you proper. They just need to make it look like they're hiring to meet some feebly monitored stat or other. Only way to guarantee against it where I'm from is to get in through an agency. Don't forget to demand your paycheck for the 2 hours. Some places yank your chain from the start to see how much they can push you around. How willing you are to be mistreated and lied to so they can weed out the smart people who have standards. The whole write-up concept is so alien to me. It just seems ridiculous. Here in Australia, it's incredibly hard to remove someone from a job, and most employers, from what I have seen, avoid warnings. I think it's traditionally a verbal and then written warning for the same issue before you can consider working towards getting rid of someone. Maybe I've just been lucky where I've worked, but I've worked with some pretty useless people, and even if they are just temps, it takes a lot for a company to get rid of someone. Except for when there isn't enough work. There also seems to be more give and take. I've come in early, stayed late and worked weekends, but also gone to the pub at lunch and just not returned to work. Good on you for standing up for yourself and walking out. You did not communicate your intent clearly. In no way is this my problem, and I will not be held accountable for it. I will also not be held responsible for not having a uniform when I have not had an opportunity to receive one. If you cannot perform the basic function of running a team and you do not have the common courtesy of burdening staff with your shortcomings, do everybody a favor and walk away.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.